streamlining of HSN code, and now the GSTN has brought in phase 3. In case of any validation mismatches that has happened in other tables of the GSTR1. Since table 12 will now show different values for B2B and different values for B2C during the filing of the return, and if there is any kind of mismatch, that should be sorted out in before filing of the return itself, so that welcome viewers. It's a month of March and it's the first week of March, and I'm sure that everybody will be busy in filing of GSTR1, preparation of GSTR1. Today we will be discussing on a very important update that has been introduced by the GST and Advisory Board for the month of filing of the GSTR1 for the month of February 2025. So we will be discussing about the streamlining of HSN code, which has been made now mandatory. So I just want to start with the background, and then we will discuss that what change and what are the precautions that you will be required while filing of GSTR1. So let me go into a little bit the history of this particular notification number 78 2020 that has been introduced on 15/10/2020, where it was mandatory for a specified threshold limit of ATO, otherwise that is annual aggregate turnover of specified limits for reporting of HSN code. So for certain limits there was optional entry or an optional system of entry for 4-digit of HSN code, and another threshold of ATO required 6-digit manual entry of HSN codes. This was made mandatory. Though this notification came out on 15/10/2020, but there was a series of phased implementation of such through the GSTN portal. The phase 1 and the phase 2 has been successfully completed, and now the GSTN has brought in phase 3. So in the last phase it was implemented from 1st of November 2022. Now with third phase, this has been made mandatory from February 2025. So whoever filing the returns for GSTR1 for the month of February, that is the due date of 11th of March, must be mandatorily reporting their 4-digit or 6-digit as applicable on the basis of the aggregate annual turnover in the GSTR1. Though this streamlining of HSN has been made mandatory, but this will not restrict you in filing of GSTR1 in case of any validation mismatches that has happened in other tables of the GSTR1. So what is exactly the GST and Advisory Board has said? What they have said in the table number 12, you have to provide the HSN summary of the outward supplies. This we were doing it manually. Also we were doing it manually, and on the basis of a manual interpretation of the digits or the 6 digits or the 4-digit whatsoever on the HSN code which we were using from the master list, we were giving the details and filing the GSTR1 accordingly. Though if there is any kind of mismatch in this table 12 with regard to the HSN summary, the GSTN return did not give us a pop-up or anything, any kind of red flagging whether the valuations or the values have been correctly put. But from February 2025, though you will be eligible or you will go ahead with filing of GSTR1, but there will be red flagging if there is any mismatch in reporting of table 12, because the table 12 values will now check its validation with the other tables of GSTR1 and whether there is any deviation in the figures that has been put. So from February 2025, there are two set of categories who has to report about the HSN code or HSN entry. One, up to annual aggregate turnover of rupees 5 crore, entry of 4-digit HSN code is mandatory. Above 5 crore annual aggregate turnover, entry of 6-digit HSN code is being made mandatory. Previously, there was the concept of manual entry, but now manual entry from February 2025 will be discontinued, and you have to select your HSN from the auto populated codes that will come in the table 12 of the GSTR1. You have to revalidate such HSN codes, whether with the description, with the unique quantity code, everything should validate with the outward supply that you will be showing in B2B and B2C. Hence, this customized HSN code will now be the new rule, where you have to enter it properly with proper validations in the other tables. So this has been the latest update that has been made in the GSTN portal. It is an advisory. It is an advisory for all the business houses and the dealers who will be filing the returns to enter the values correctly, so that such HSN outward summary should tally with your final outward supply. With regards to B2B and B2C separately, consolidately, that value needs to be matched and tallied, but since table 12 will now show different values for B2B and different values for B2C, that figures for table A, table 4A, table 4B, 9A, 9B, 15, 15A, such tables where the registered dealer's entry has to be made for in the GSTR1, that should tally as per table 12 HSN summary for B2B, and for B2C the respective tables, the value which goes, the taxable amount, the tax amount, the total amount of tax, the total taxable amount, that should match with the value that will be put in B2C in table 12. So now in the monthly returns, if this is reconciled and filed properly, so I think that during the filing of 99C, this additional pressure of reconciliation of such HSN summary will reduce to a substantial lower level. In continuation of this presentation of reporting of HSN code, I will just now give you a brief idea about the validation checks that will be happening in the tables, other tables of GSTR1 or GSTR1A as the amendment applicable. So what are the validation checks? Now, table 12, you will be reporting your B2B and your B2C supplies along with the values, along with your HSN code. Such values must be in consonant with the other reporting tables of the same GSTR1. If there is any kind of validation checks or any kind of mismatches, then a red flagging will be happening. Though you will be allowed to file the returns, that is not that is not a problem. You will not be prevented from filing the returns if there is a mismatch, but there will be red flagging as of now. Maybe in the near future you will be locked to file, because if there is some kind of mismatches that has happened with table 12 with the other tables, maybe you will during the time of the filing of the final return, you will not be able to file, because there will be pop-ups which will show that there are mismatches in the other tables. So since we are implementing it from the very first month, in the February 2025, we will be implementing such. So it is very important to check the validation totals of the tables which is related to B2B and the B2C respectively. So table 12 will come up with two categories, that is B2B and B2C, where you have to report your HSN codes along with the taxable value and the tax amount. Such amount must match with the respective tables. Now for B2B, what are those tables? For B2B, the tables are 4A, 4B, 6B, 6C, table 8, 9A, 9B, 9C, 15 and 15A. For B2C, the respective tables are 5A, 6A, 7A, B and C, 8, table 9A, 9B, 9C, table 10, 15 and 15A respectively. So all these tables will have the respective values for B2B and B2C these values must be in consonance with the figures that are reported in the table 12 under B2B and B2C. Such reconciliation must be made during the filing of the return, and if there is any kind of mismatch, that should be sorted out in before filing of the return itself, so that during the filing of annual return you have the ready-made data that where the mismatch has happened. With this I want to conclude this video, and I want to inform you that with this informative video, the precautions that you should take in filing of the returns GSTR 1 for the month of February 2025, as reporting of HSN is now mandatory and correct figures should go from this month only. Please try to avoid any kind of mismatches that can happen between the other tables, and hopefully this small video, this small initiative from our side will help you through our video to report your figures correctly.